All right, let's jump right into this. As a business owner, you literally pour your blood, sweat, and tears into building something you're incredibly proud of. You know it brings real value to the market. But today, in this explainer, we're going to tackle one of the most painfully frustrating paradoxes in the entire business world. We're looking at exactly why having a fantastic product still absolutely requires a rock-solid sales system.
There's this maddening friction that so many of you feel every single day, right? You've got a strong product, an amazing offering, top-tier service, but it's met with totally inconsistent sales. The product undeniably works, but your revenue? It looks like a wild roller coaster ride. It's completely unpredictable. So you gotta ask yourself, why does this happen? Why on earth doesn't a truly great product just sell itself? Part 1, When Good Products Don't Sell, or as I like to call it, the small business paradox. Let's look at this objectively for a second. We see this exact paradox across the board, in practically every industry. And it's so important to understand that you are definitely not alone here. We're talking about marketing agencies pulling in undeniable results for their clients, restaurants making incredible, mouth-watering food that all the locals rave about, everyday local businesses with deeply loyal but maybe kind of small customer bases, or even media platforms with rock-solid content. If your business fits into any of these buckets, I really want to validate your hard work right now. You successfully built a great product. You crossed the hardest hurdle, focused on your craft, and absolutely nailed it. But as we'll see, having a great product actually lowers your defenses to the real underlying issue. Part 2, the real sales problem and how we misdiagnose the root cause. So when revenue stalls out and the numbers just aren't hitting the targets, where do business owners usually point the finger? Well, almost universally, the automatic knee-jerk reaction is, we need better salespeople. It's actually fascinating how common this is. When sales dip, the frustrated owner naturally assumes the fault lies entirely with the talent or the motivation or the closing ability of their staff. They think, man, if I just had a superstar closer, a real shark, all my revenue problems would instantly vanish. But here is the massive aha moment. Actually, let me rephrase that. This is a real game changer. Sometimes you don't need a better salesperson at all. Sometimes you just need a better sales process. The harsh reality is that a business can have a genuinely amazing product, yet still make it incredibly, painfully difficult for its own people to actually sell the thing. You might have fantastic, super capable talent on your team right now, but if you've dropped them into a maze without a map, they are going to fail, period. Moving on to part 3, motivation versus system clarity, and what your reps actually need. Okay, I'm gonna put on my practical business coach hat for a minute here, because we really need to talk about the day-to-day mechanics of sales operations and what truly drives consistent performance. Spoiler alert, it's rarely what owners think it is. Look, without clarity, your salesperson is basically trapped in a fog of unclear expectations. They're wasting massive amounts of energy just trying to figure out your internal systems. They're hunting around for pricing, second-guessing who to call, trying to invent a pitch totally from scratch. It's exhausting. But flip that and give them clear expectations. Now they're locked onto the target, actually selling the product. Without that clarity, reps burn all their fuel navigating internal chaos instead of closing deals. Your salespeople don't just need a hype speech, they desperately need clarity. Let's break down exactly what happens when that structure is missing, because the results are pretty painful. When you have undefined pricing, it immediately leads to internal confusion, and you'll catch your reps hesitating on calls. Ambiguous account ownership? That's a recipe for infighting. You've got reps stepping on each other's toes, or even worse, totally ignoring hot leads because they just assume somebody else is handling it. And when there are zero follow-up rules in place, you guessed it, lost sales. The leads literally fall right through the cracks. Again, your team doesn't just need another motivational pep talk. They need actual tools, clear structure, and a realistic, mapped-out path to win. Section 4, 8 quick wins for owners. Let's start building that foundation. All right, so how do we actually fix this chaos? This is where we get highly practical. I want to give you some immediate ROI for hanging out with me on this explainer today, so let's rapid fire through the first 4 foundational wins. Number 1, define the offer clearly. Like, what exactly are they selling? Number 2, write down the target customer. Who is the absolute perfect fit? Number 3, create a simple, unmistakable pricing sheet. And number 4, put together approved proof points and sales materials. The huge takeaway here is that you absolutely have to get the offer, the target, the pricing, and the materials out of your own head and onto paper. Your sales team can't read your mind, right? They need company-approved assets they can confidently hand straight to a prospect. Now, that foundation leads us directly into our final 4 operational wins. Number 5, clarify exactly who owns which accounts or leads. Nice, fair rules completely prevent that infighting we talked about earlier. Number 6, define what a good sales week actually looks like. Is it 50 calls? Is it 3 booked meetings? You need to be incredibly specific here. Number 7, build a super simple follow-up system so no lead ever gets left behind. And finally, number 8, review activity and conversations without making it emotional. Just look at the numbers and the structure objectively. This keeps the whole environment professional and entirely focused on growth. And our final section today, building a winning environment and redefining leadership.
Implementing those 8 steps we just went through does so much more than just organize your digital files. It fundamentally changes your role as an owner and a leader in your company. Let's redefine good sales leadership for a second. It is not just applying pressure for better results. Rather, it's creating the exact environment where those results are naturally more likely to happen. I just love this redefinition. It's a powerful reminder that your job isn't just to stand over your team cracking the whip and demanding more. Your real job is to pave the road, remove all that internal friction, and make success the most logical, natural outcome of their day.
Because here is what happens when you actually do that. A strong sales system reveals the ultimate truth. Is the problem the person, the process, or a little bit of both? Once you have crystal clear pricing, defined territories, and straightforward follow-up rules in place, your good people will immediately start performing better. The system literally elevates them. And hey, if someone still struggles after all that, well, then you finally have the clarity you need to make a fair personnel decision, because you know for an absolute fact that the process isn't the thing to blame anymore.
So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought today. If your sales team is currently struggling, do not only ask whether you have the right people on the bus. You need to ask yourself, have you actually built the right system for them to win? I challenge you to take a really hard look at your internal processes today. Let's stop blaming the team as a knee-jerk reaction and start building a better environment where your incredible product is finally easy to sell. Thanks for learning with me on this explainer today, and I really hope this gives you the clarity you need to build a winning system.